Dear Russell Westbrook, Mountain Dew is ruining your reputation.
This is the NBA Storyteller.
You are good at basketball. You are also good at seeming to be good at fashion and clothes stuff. And on top of that, you are commendably skilled at reading scripts in a natural way.
Like these new dirty ones.
You know what I mean? In those dozens upon dozens of commercials, you come across as real. It's like you're really doing it. It's like you're really a big fan of Mountain Dew and really a big fan of jeans. Now this could be a result of two things. One, you've done your work. You've practiced. Two, the folks who are tasked with writing these scripts know how to write for you, meaning they know the types of words and the types of cadence and tendencies you have when you speak, so they write in accordance. So when you get the script, it feels very natural. Number three, and hopefully, in terms of owning your own you participate in the writing process. You never want to just have something handed to you and you read it, especially when it's your face and your image. Okay, with that in consideration, I bring you to this commercial and our attempt at unmasking the person or persons who did no research in the creation of this high-budget, high-polished, high-production commercial. A sub-note here, it's not a side note, it's a sub-note. If you're a fan of this channel, you may know exactly where I'm going with this. All right, let's dig in. Let's break it down. Let's break this apart.
They say don't practice shots you wouldn't shoot in the game. They say don't pregame to slow jams. They say don't eat seafood in Oklahoma. They say don't mix camouflages. They say a lot of things. Don't do they. Do you?
There are 4 claims in this 30-second spot. 4 claims. 4 claims and 1 instruction. Okay? And the antagonist in this commercial is the classic straw man known as they.
They say don't, they say don't, they say don't, they say don't.
Now for Russell, who creates a heaping pile of controversy wherever he goes and with whatever he does and whatever he wears, I'm sure he gets a lot of flack behind closed doors. And I'm confident in that because he gets a lot of flack in front of open doors, if that's the opposite. So it can be surmised that these statements, these claims of they, the they that are telling him what to do and what to not do, may have come from his real life, whether we've seen it in post-game interviews or maybe it was said to him in a private moment. Some of these things, if not all of these things, seem to be coming from a place of truth. And I believe that's what Mountain Dew is banking on, using Russell Westbrook in this capacity. They're hoping we believe that these things actually happen, especially in this reality where authenticity is so valuable. But even if these things aren't exactly true, they're at least written in a way that is believable and that we can still sympathize with. In summary, if what he's saying is not true, it should at least feel true. All right, here we go. We're going to take this backwards here. We're going to take this from the back in a family sense. What was claim number 4?
They say don't mix camouflages.
Don't mix camouflage, he says. Okay, this is one that I cannot verify is real. But as I hoped in my earlier statement, this feels like something that could have happened. Even though it's super particular and petty, I will allow this one to stand. But there's so many outfits that he wore that have been publicly criticized. I don't understand why they couldn't have just drawn from one of his real outfits. They could have used one of these. And with that, they could have gone with a statement like, they say, don't wear white after Labor Day. They say, don't wear a skirt if you don't shave your legs. They could have said that. They could have done those. And that would have been based on something that we all know is true. But instead they went with don't mix camouflage, which is not a widely known fashion faux pas. It's something that probably people know about, but I sure didn't know about it right away. Anyway, in the commercial we see that he is mixing camouflages, so okay, you're rebelling against they. All right, that's sketchy, but we'll give it to you. All right, number 3, they say
don't eat seafood in Oklahoma.
Don't eat seafood in Oklahoma. This one is just stupid for a number of reasons. Number 1, if we're just gonna go ahead and give that to him, this concept here, then it's obvious, right? We've heard that joke before, you know? It's the middle of the country. They're far away from any massive body of water. So in turn, there's no seafood that they are getting that is fresh. And it's probably going to make you sick, right? That's what we're supposed to assume here. So that's really stupid because it's super obvious. And number two, building on that, if it's so obvious and people are saying don't eat it for a valid reason, what's the triumph in eating bad seafood? And I'm not talking about just bad taste, but like bad make you sick seafood. If we're going to take this trope all the way to its extreme, that seafood in Oklahoma is going to make you sick, why is Russell eating it? Just to prove somebody wrong? And if that's the case, you look stupid. That's stupid reason number two. The trope is stupid. You look stupid for going against it just for the sake of going against it. And number three, it's actually not true. None of it is true. It's well past 2017, whenever you're going to see this video. So, did you know that we have advanced technology in freezing and shipping, and things can be shipped overnight? You can order any type of food online, and it will be at your door the next day, if not that day, including seafood. So this whole idea is just old. It feels very 90s. It feels Seinfeldian. So this is the third reason that that's just dumb. Just dumb buckets. Because yes, you can get good seafood in Oklahoma City because it's the future. You know it's only like a few hours away on an airplane from the coast. If you wanted to actually get seafood shipped into Oklahoma City, you could have it the same day as it's caught if it's a nice enough restaurant and they have the dough. So that's just a bad analogy and a lazy one at that. And moving on from that, let's move to number one. Yeah, we're skipping number two because we'll get back to that. That's the kicker. Okay, they were lazy on number four. They were incorrect on number three. And number one is confused because I don't think they know what they're saying. In the script it says, they say, don't practice shots you won't use in the game, or something like that.
They say don't practice shots you wouldn't shoot in the game.
Well, this is busted in multiple ways with about 2.2 seconds of research. Firstest, yes, he does use this shot in games. We've seen him use that exact shot from almost half court in games. He loves shooting that shot. So if the concept is don't practice shots you don't use in games, well, he does use it in games, so he should practice it. And we see him practicing here. So how do we fix this? Because the other part of this is that I doubt, and from any research I can find, it's not like he does a Steph Curry where pre-games he's practicing these half-court shots. He doesn't practice these types of shots. So the actual truth is the literal opposite of what they're saying here. So what maybe they should be saying is, practice the shot. Don't practice the shot you won't take in games. So practice the shot that you'll take in games. So practice. So the opposite of is practice. So the opposite of don't practice the shot you won't take in games. So don't practice the shot is practice. Practice the shot you won't take in games that you will take. So the inverse of their statement of the they say is they say practice the shot you're going to take in games, which is just practice. And he's rebelling against practice. If you really break it down, it's just confusing, and I don't even want to deal with this because all I want to do is get to number two, because that's the whole reason I'm making this damn video right now. Here we are. My original beef with this commercial, number two.
They say don't pregame to slow jams.
They say don't pregame to slow jams. Well, Russ and the Do team, maybe you should either become serious fans of the NBA Storyteller, or you should become fans of a little player by the name of Michael Jordan. MJ, widely recognized as the pinnacle of basketball, which in some cases might epitomize him as the concept of they, as they usually stands for the powers, the people, the gatekeepers, the ones that are at the top. And yes, I know MJ is not in control completely, but what he says and does has gotten the golden pass into basketball acceptance. His fadeaway, right? The shoes, the baggy shorts. These are things that he did and became accepted. And once he did it, he made it acceptable for everybody else to do it. For a generation, he was the they. If he said it or did it, it was accepted. So when Russell, who was also an actual spokesman for the Jordan brand, as you see here, goes on TV in a, I'm sure, $1 million ad. It cost $1 million. Everything costs more than $1 million these days. Says, they say don't pregame to slow jams. There's no way I should be able to find this particular clip. A clip that was used in one of our big videos, by the way. Like I said, for this to be true, this clip should not exist. Roll it, chicken.
Our last question. There's a pregame ritual that you go through. You're back in the locker room by yourself. There's a song that plays, and you said that was going to be your theme. What's that song that you listen to?
Anita Baker, Give It Your Best. Just go out and give it your all. And that's what I did. I felt that, we had to go out and play. The pressure was not on us.
Yep, you heard that right. The very best of all time pre-gaming to one of the smoothest, slowest jams of his era. So, okay, Mountain Dew, your commercial is lazy.
They say don't eat seafood in Oklahoma.
Your commercial is confusing.
They say don't practice.
Your commercial is flat out false.
They say don't pregame to slow jams.
Anita Baker, give it your best.
And you hung this on Russell Westbrook, who we already see is not the smartest cookie in the cabinet. And like I said, because it's his voice and his face, the majority of us don't even consider the people behind it who wrote these words. Yes, it's on Russ to approve and actually go on camera and say these things, and you assume that people at these giant corporations have your best interest in mind, but for this particular case, nobody was fact-checking this, and now you all look stupid. Yeah, this is a fun video, but now you look stupid, because none of that shit makes sense. So I advise you, Mountain Dew, to fix this. You are on my turd list. You are on the Storyteller's turd list for 2 reasons. You've seen the other Mountain Dew video. This is my second one. You are finished, Mountain Dew. Diet Mountain Dew, you're okay for now. I know some people who are cool with you. Regular Mountain Dew, you're done. Besides, what the hell was this? That's ridiculous. This gentleman spent all day dancing and dunking for you guys on your shoot, and that's the clip you use of him? I hope whatever higher being you confess to at night has a heart of forgiveness, because you have one place to go, and it ain't the top of a mountain. You're done. Dew.